Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you something. How many times have your thoughts felt like a storm you couldn't control? How many times have you laid awake at night, mind racing, heart pounding, and you just wished you could press pause? We live in a world that demands speed, attention, and reaction. But here's the truth: true power, true strength does not come from doing more, reacting faster, or thinking harder. It comes from mastering the one thing most people ignore: the mind. Your mind is your battlefield, your sanctuary, your instrument of peace. And the way you control your thoughts determines whether your life is a hurricane of chaos or a river of calm. Today, I want to show you how to control your thoughts for calmness, not in theory, but in ways you can feel, practice, and live. Let me start by saying this: your mind is like a crowded room filled with voices shouting, whispering, demanding attention. And here's the thing most people don't realize. Those voices, those thoughts, they are not you. They are visitors. They come, they linger, and eventually they leave. Anxiety doesn't define you. Anger doesn't define you. Fear doesn't define you. Too often we make the mistake of treating our thoughts like laws etched in stone, like commands that must be obeyed. But you are not your thoughts. You are the observer, the one who chooses whether to act on them or let them pass by. And once you understand this, once it sinks in, everything changes. You start to see the power that has always been in your hands. Think about driving a car. Imagine you're behind the wheel, moving down a long, winding road. Thoughts are like the GPS on that car. They offer suggestions. They tell you where to turn, where to speed up, where to slow down. And if you let it, you'll follow every instruction without question, even if it takes you somewhere you don't want to go. But you don't have to. You are the driver. You have the steering wheel in your hands. You decide the path. You decide which thoughts to follow, which ones to question, and which ones to leave behind on the side of the road. This is control. This is freedom. And it starts with recognizing that your thoughts are not commands. They are just possibilities. I want you to picture something with me for a moment. Imagine waking up tomorrow, and instead of being dragged into the chaos of every passing thought, you pause. You notice the anxious voice saying, "You're not good enough." And instead of obeying it, you watch it, let it float by. You see the anger creeping in over a small inconvenience at work, and instead of letting it ignite, you observe it, breathe, and release. There is a weight lifted when you see the difference between the thought and who you are. Because who you are is not defined by the storms of your mind. You are the calm at the center, the one who witnesses the storm without being swept away. That is power, that is control, that is peace. There's a story I want to share. A friend of mine, he used to be consumed by his thoughts. Every mistake, every worry, every regret played in his mind like a never-ending movie. He thought he had no choice but to follow every emotion, every fear. One day he just stopped. He said to himself, "I am not my thoughts. I am the one noticing them." And with that small, almost imperceptible shift, everything changed. The constant tension in his body began to ease. The anxiety that had controlled his mornings lifted. He realized he could respond to life instead of reacting to it. It wasn't instant. It didn't happen overnight. But it started that moment with the recognition that he was not the thoughts that crowded his mind. I'm telling you this because you need to hear it today. You don't have to follow every fear that creeps in, every anger that rises, every worry that whispers at night. You are bigger than them. You are the one steering the wheel. You are the calm behind the storm. And it starts with one decision: to notice your thoughts, to step back, and to say, "This is not me. I see you, I acknowledge you, but I am not bound by you." That decision is the first step on the path to a life lived with calmness, with clarity, with strength. It is not easy, and it is not quick, but it is real, and it is yours to claim. Let me be honest with you. Most people live their lives running behind their thoughts. Thoughts come, and before you even realize it, they've taken the wheel, steering your emotions, your decisions, your entire day. You can't steer a runaway train if you notice its speed too late. By the time you realize you're overwhelmed, anxious, or angry, the damage is already done. That's why the key is not to wait. The key is to catch your thoughts early, the moment they arise. When you notice a thought before it grabs hold, you gain power, you gain control, you gain calm. Mindfulness is not just a buzzword. It is the practice of seeing your mind clearly, like a mirror reflecting reality without distortion. It's noticing the first flicker of worry before it becomes a storm. It's observing the first spark of doubt before it becomes a wildfire. And here's the thing, once you catch that thought early, you have options. You can question it, you can redirect it, you can release it. You are no longer a passenger, you are the driver. Let me give you an example, a real one. Olympic athletes, the very best in the world, don't just train their bodies. They train their minds. Before a race, before stepping onto the track or into the pool, they visualize every move, every step, every sensation. And when a thought of self-doubt arises, they don't ignore it. They notice it immediately. They see it, acknowledge it, and replace it with focus, with confidence, with the image of success. By catching that thought early, they prevent it from spreading, from controlling their performance. They gain calm before the race even begins. They gain clarity, precision, and control. And that calm, my friends, is what separates good from great, ordinary from extraordinary. You can do the same in your life. The next time a negative thought creeps in, I can't do this, I'm not enough, this is too hard. Don't wait for it to grow. Catch it the moment it arises. Observe it. Ask yourself, is this thought true? Is it helpful? Then consciously redirect your mind to what serves you. Maybe you replace it with a memory of success, a plan of action, or simply a deep breath that reminds you, right now you are safe, you are capable, you are in control. The moment you learn to catch your thoughts early, life changes. You stop reacting, you start responding. You stop being at the mercy of your mind and start steering your life with intention. Every thought you catch is a victory, a small act of mastery over the chaos of the world and the noise of your own mind. And over time, these small victories compound, building strength, resilience, and calm that no circumstance can shake. Start today. Notice the first flicker, catch it, redirect it, and watch as the power of your mind, the power of calm, begins to unfold. Let me tell you something most people don't understand. Your mind is not a courtroom. It is not a final authority. It is not a place where every thought must be judged true just because it appears. Too often, we take every thought seriously, treating it like a fact when, in reality, it is often an exaggeration, an assumption, or a spiral that has no foundation in truth. We hear that voice in our heads telling us, you can't do this, or you're failing, or everything is falling apart, and without questioning it, we react, we panic, we stress. We let our thoughts dictate our emotions, our decisions, our lives. But what if I told you that you have a choice? What if I told you that you could stand up, put your hands on your hips and say, not every thought is real. Not every thought deserves my attention. I am in control. Questioning your thoughts is one of the most powerful acts of mental discipline you can practice. It sounds simple, but it changes everything. The next time a thought arises, pause and ask yourself, is this thought real? Is it helpful? Is it necessary? That one simple interrogation is like throwing a lifeline into the turbulent waters of your mind. It slows the storm. It gives you perspective. It separates truth from illusion, reality from fear, clarity from chaos. Let me give you a concrete example. A mother is sitting at the kitchen table, her heart racing. She just got a note from her child's school. He failed a test. Her mind immediately spins. I failed as a parent. My child is doomed. Nothing will ever be okay. She's panicking. Her thoughts are taking her down a path of fear and guilt, and she's not even realizing it. But then she stops herself. She questions the thought. She asks, is this true? Will one grade define my child's life? Will one failure decide the future? Suddenly the storm slows. The perspective shifts. She realizes the thought, while loud, is not accurate. It's not necessary. It's not helpful. She can breathe. She can respond calmly. She can guide, support, and teach without letting panic take over. One simple act of questioning thoughts changes everything. It gives power back to the thinker. This principle applies not just to parents, not just to academics, not just to small moments in life. It applies to you, to me, to every one of us facing stress, doubt, and fear. When the mind starts spinning stories of, I can't, I'm not enough, it will never work, we have to pause and interrogate those stories. Ask the questions, is this real? Is this helpful? Is this necessary? Because 9 times out of 10, you'll you'll realize the mind was exaggerating. It was spinning a drama that has nothing to do with the truth of who you are or the reality of the situation. The power of questioning your thoughts lies in its simplicity. You don't need complicated strategies. You don't need hours of meditation or therapy. You need awareness, courage, and honesty. When you start asking these questions consistently, the noise fades, the panic slows. The mind becomes a tool, not a tyrant. And with that tool, you gain calm, clarity, and confidence. You can navigate life with a steady heart because you're not living in the lies your mind sometimes tells you. You're living in the truth that you choose, the truth that empowers, the truth that keeps you grounded even in the storm. So today, I challenge you. The next time your mind spirals, pause. Question it. Don't accept it as fact. Ask, is this thought real? Is it necessary? That small act is a revolution in itself. And when you master it, you master the calm within the chaos, the clarity within confusion, the strength within your own mind. You will see that peace is not a distant dream. It is always within reach, waiting for you to claim it. Let me speak to you for a moment about a truth that most people overlook. Most people, when they feel stressed, anxious, or overwhelmed, are not stressed about the thing itself. They're stressed about their lack of control over it. They try to control everything, the people around them, the circumstances they didn't create, the outcomes they cannot influence. And that's why their minds spiral. That's why their hearts race. That's why they lie awake at night with their thoughts pounding like hammers. We are not meant to control everything, no one can. But here's the powerful part, you can control something. And when you turn your attention to what you can control, everything shifts. Your mind slows. Your body relaxes. Calmness arrives like a tide finally washing over a storm-battered shore. Think about it. You wake up in the morning, the world is already moving faster than you can catch. Emails, deadlines, family, traffic, news, chaos everywhere. You try to control the uncontrollable, and your mind is a prisoner of things that will never bend to your will. That's when anxiety takes hold. But when you pause and ask yourself, what can I control right now? What can I influence? Suddenly the fog lifts. The focus shifts from helplessness to action. Your energy goes to the place where it actually matters. Your thoughts stop running wild. Your heart stops racing. You are no longer a passenger. You are the captain. Here's what it looks like in real life. Take a workplace scenario. A manager is frustrated because a project isn't progressing as expected. She can't control the decisions of other departments. She can't control how her team reacts under pressure. She can't control the economy or the client's mood. If she obsesses over these things, she's paralyzed, stressed, and ineffective. But the moment she focuses on what she can control, her own communication, her own preparation, her own attitude, she becomes powerful. She becomes calm. She becomes effective. And what's interesting is that calm, collected energy has a ripple effect on the people around her, influencing them in ways she can't even measure. The science backs this up. Studies show that people who focus on controllable factors, what they can do, what they can change, reduce stress hormones by 20 to 30%. That's not just theory, that's your body physically responding to control and clarity. Your nervous system relaxes. Your mind settles. Your heart finds a steady rhythm. Calmness is not some mystical gift. It's the natural result of focusing your energy where it counts, on what is in your hands, not on what isn't. Now let me take this beyond work, beyond deadlines. Life is unpredictable. People disappoint you, circumstances change in an instant, plans fall apart. But here's the truth. While you cannot control what happens, you can control how you respond. You can control your attitude. You can control your effort. You can control the lens through which you see the situation. And that choice, your choice, is the difference between being consumed by stress or carrying a steady peace inside you. That choice, your choice, is freedom. That choice, your choice, is power. Think about the athletes, the performers, the leaders who seem unshakable under pressure. They don't get calm by controlling the crowd, the weather, or the competition. They get calm by controlling themselves, their preparation, their focus, their mindset. They pour energy into what they can influence and let the rest fall away. That's the secret. That's the principle that can transform your life starting today. Here's a story I want you to hold on to. A firefighter was trapped in a burning building. Flames roared, smoke filled the room, and everything seemed uncontrollable. But he didn't panic. Why? Because he focused on what he could control: his breathing, his steps, his actions to get out safely. He didn't waste energy worrying about the fire itself, about the building's collapse, about what might happen if he failed. He focused on the controllable, and he survived. He emerged calm amidst chaos because he directed his energy to what mattered. This principle applies to every corner of your life: family, career, health, relationships, even your thoughts. Stop trying to control what you can't. Stop letting the uncontrollable steal your calm. Instead, turn your attention to your actions, your choices, your mindset. That focus will change not just your mind, but your body, your performance, and your life. Calmness is not passive, it is deliberate. Calmness is not surrender, it is mastery. Calmness is the result of recognizing the power that is always in your hands and letting go of the power you never had. So I challenge you today, ask yourself, in every moment, what can I control? Let that question guide you. Let it focus your energy. Let it calm your storm, and watch as life stops controlling you and you begin to steer your own destiny with clarity, strength, and unwavering calm. Let me tell you something that is simple, often overlooked, yet profoundly powerful. When life gets chaotic, when the noise of the world is deafening, when fear and stress threaten to swallow you whole, there is one tool you already have with you right here, right now, that no one can take away from you: your breath. That's right, your breath. Inhale, exhale, simple, natural, constant. And yet, so many people ignore it, rush through it, or use it as background noise while their minds race and their hearts pound. But your breath is your anchor, your tether to reality, your connection to calm. Think about it. Chaos comes. It hits without warning. A deadline, a confrontation, a crisis. Your body reacts immediately. The heart races, muscles tighten, thoughts spiral. Panic starts creeping in, threatening to overwhelm. And in that moment, you have a choice. You can let your mind be swept away in the storm, or you can anchor yourself. And that anchor is your breath. One conscious inhale, one deliberate exhale. Each one tells your nervous system something your mind desperately needs to hear: I am safe. I am present. I am here. That simple act communicates with every cell in your body, bringing your mind back into alignment with reality. This is not theory, this is survival. Soldiers in high-stress combat zones are trained to breathe intentionally, even when bullets fly and chaos surrounds them. They do not control the enemy, the environment, or the unpredictability of war. What they control is themselves. They focus on the inhale, the exhale, the rhythm of their breath. It's the single most effective way to prevent panic and regain clarity, even in life and death situations. They breathe to center themselves, to calm the storm, to step forward with precision rather than being consumed by fear. And that principle applies to every one of us, every day, in battles both literal and metaphorical. Let me paint you a picture. You're in a meeting that has gone off the rails. Voices are raised. Tension is high. Your thoughts are racing. You feel the panic building, your heart thumping like it's trying to escape your chest. You could react. You could respond with anger. Or you could do something radical. You could pause. You could inhale slowly, fully, consciously. Hold it for a moment, feel the air fill your lungs, and then exhale, releasing the tension, releasing the impulse, reclaiming control. 1 breath, 2 breaths, 3 breaths. Each one resets your system, slows the racing heart, and clears the fog of panic. Your mind becomes a tool, not a tyrant. Your body becomes an ally, not an enemy. And suddenly you are calm amidst the storm because you remembered the power of your breath. It's not just about slowing down. It's about grounding yourself in the present. Anxiety lives in the future. Fear lives in what might happen. Anger lives in what already occurred. Your breath lives in the now. Every inhale, every exhale is a reminder that right now you are here, you are alive, and you can respond with clarity. It connects your mind, your body, and your spirit. It reminds you that you are in control of what is within your reach, even if everything else feels uncontrollable. Let me give you another example. Athletes, performers, anyone stepping into a high-pressure moment. They breathe intentionally before they act, before they perform, before they make a move. They don't allow the adrenaline to hijack their body. They don't allow the fear to dictate their actions. They anchor themselves with each breath, and suddenly, Precision replaces panic, focus replaces fear, and calm replaces chaos. Your life, my friends, is no different. Every challenge, every conflict, every high-stakes moment can be navigated with this one simple, yet profoundly powerful tool. Here's what I want you to take with you today. Your breath is not background noise. It is not something to take for granted. It is a reset button. It is your tether to the present. It is the bridge between chaos and calm. Inhale fully, exhale deliberately. Let your mind and body remember who is in control. Let your breath speak louder than your fears. Let it remind you that no matter the storm, no matter the challenge, no matter the pressure, you have the power to anchor yourself, to find clarity, to regain strength, and to step forward with calm confidence. So when life becomes overwhelming, and it will, you don't need to run, you don't need to fight, you don't need to control everything around you. You need to breathe, inhale, exhale, anchor yourself. And in that simple, powerful act, you reclaim the calm that has always been within you, waiting for you to reach out and take it. Let me tell you something that most people don't understand about their minds. Your mind is like a lens through which you see the world. And just like any lens, it can distort reality. If it's cracked, scratched, or clouded by fear, anger, or doubt, everything you see becomes distorted. Problems feel larger than they are. Obstacles feel insurmountable. Opportunities feel invisible. But here's the truth that so few people act on: you have the power to change that lens. You have the power to reframe the way you see things. You have the power to turn fear into focus, doubt into determination, and despair into possibility. Reframing negative thoughts is not about pretending that problems don't exist. It's not about ignoring pain, disappointment, or setbacks. It's about changing your perspective so that your mind becomes a tool, not a prison. When you reframe, you stop feeding the spiral of negativity that keeps you stuck. You take control of the narrative in your own life. And when you do that, calm follows. Not because the problem disappears, but because you find empowerment in how you respond to it. Think about it this way. Someone loses their job. Their first thought is, I failed. I'm worthless.
I'm done.
That thought is heavy. It's like carrying a boulder on your back. It clouds your judgment, it paralyzes your action, and it steals your peace. But what if, in that same moment, you asked yourself a question? What if you reframed the thought? I have an opportunity to find something better. I have a chance to grow. I have the freedom to challenge myself. That simple shift does more than change your mind. It changes your body, your energy, and your actions. Calmness emerges because you are no longer a victim of your circumstances. You are the architect of your perspective, and with that comes clarity, focus, and empowerment. I want you to picture this. Imagine standing in a storm, rain pounding, wind howling, debris flying. If your mind focuses on the storm alone, on the danger, on the chaos, you will panic. Your body will tense, your heart will race, and fear will take over. But if you reframe the storm, if you see it as a challenge to test your courage, as a force that can teach resilience, suddenly your body relaxes, your mind sharpens, and you navigate it with precision. You are not pretending the storm isn't real. You are changing your perspective so that your mind can work with reality instead of against it. That is the power of reframing. Reframing also rewires your brain over time. Neuroscience shows that the more you consciously redirect negative thoughts into constructive, solution-oriented thoughts, the stronger your neural pathways for optimism and resilience become. Your brain literally begins to see opportunity where it once saw threat. Your mind becomes a source of calm, not chaos. Your thoughts become allies, not adversaries. And this is not a small thing. This is life-changing. This is how ordinary people develop extraordinary strength. Let me give you another example. An athlete missing a critical shot in a game, a performer forgetting a line on stage, a student failing an exam. Their first instinct is to judge themselves harshly, to spiral into self-doubt. But those who learn to reframe do something different. They say, I missed the shot. Now I know what to work on. I have another chance. I can improve. I will grow. That reframe shifts the energy from panic to focus, from shame to determination, from chaos to calm. It transforms setbacks into stepping stones. It transforms defeat into lessons. And it transforms your mind from a battlefield into a source of strength. I want you to remember this: life will throw challenges at you. People will disappoint you. Circumstances will change, plans will crumble, and your mind will tell you stories that make you feel small, powerless, and overwhelmed. But you are not bound by those stories. You are not at the mercy of your thoughts. You have the power to reframe. You have the power to change the lens. You have the power to see possibility in adversity, hope in hardship, and calm in the middle of chaos. So the next time your mind wants to tell you that you are failing, that the situation is hopeless, that there is no way forward, stop. Take a breath. Look at the situation through a different lens. Ask yourself, what can I learn? How can I grow? Where is the opportunity? That one shift will change everything. It will calm your storm, steady your heart, and sharpen your mind. It will empower you to move forward with clarity, focus, and unwavering strength. Reframing is not just a skill, it is a lifeline. And once you learn to do it consistently, you will see that calm, clarity, and possibility are never out of reach. They are always within you, waiting for you to claim them. Calmness is not something you stumble upon. It's not a gift you receive once, nor is it the result of a single moment of clarity. Calmness, real calmness, is something you build, and it's built the same way a great athlete builds strength, through repetition, dedication, and discipline. It's forged in the quiet moments, the moments when no one is watching, when you sit with yourself and face the thoughts that swirl through your mind like a storm. You see, our minds are like rivers. They are constantly moving, rushing, pulling us along, and if we do not learn to observe without resistance, without judgment, we will be swept away by every current of fear, doubt, or anger. That is why mental discipline practiced daily is the foundation of a life of strength, poise, and clarity. Imagine this every day. For just 10 minutes, you sit quietly and watch your thoughts. You do not chase them. You do not judge them. You simply observe. At first, it feels uncomfortable, even impossible. Your mind will resist. It will flood with worries about the past, anxieties about the future, a relentless chatter that tells you you are not enough. You are failing. You are too far behind. But this is exactly the moment that matters. This is the moment when discipline is born. Because when you learn to sit with your thoughts, when you learn to meet them without reacting, you are training your mind the way an athlete trains their body. Every repetition, every small victory makes you stronger. Studies on monks and long-term practitioners of mindfulness show what happens when you do this. Daily practice physically changes the brain. The areas that govern emotional regulation, attention, and calmness grow stronger, connections deepen. Your ability to respond rather than react improves. This is not just a metaphor, it is biology. You are reshaping yourself neuron by neuron, thought by thought. You are proving to your mind that it can endure stillness, that it can resist the urge to lash out, to panic, to crumble under pressure. And with every 10 minutes, every conscious observation of your own mind, you lay down a foundation of resilience that no external circumstance can shake. Life will throw its chaos at you as it always does. Opportunities will slip through your fingers. People will disappoint you. The world will test you in ways that seem unfair, relentless, unbearable even. And in those moments, if you have not trained your mind, your calmness, your ability to remain grounded, you will be carried away by the storm. But if you have practiced discipline, if you have spent those quiet minutes observing, acknowledging, and releasing your thoughts, you will stand firm. You will face the storm with dignity and strength. You will act with clarity rather than reaction. You will hold power over yourself because you have chosen to master your inner world. Mental discipline is not just about sitting quietly. It is about creating a habit that translates into every part of your life. It is the ability to pause before speaking, to reflect before acting, to consider before judging. It allows you to see the bigger picture, to understand that immediate impulses are rarely the best course of action. It cultivates patience, empathy, and understanding. People who practice this, even in small amounts, report not just less stress, but more joy, more focus, more meaningful relationships. They are no longer at the mercy of every fleeting thought or emotion. They have the power to choose, and in that choice, they find freedom. You might think, 10 minutes. That's too small. That won't make a difference. And maybe at first it doesn't feel like it. But greatness is built in these small, consistent acts. 10 minutes every day, practice for months and years, transforms the way you experience life. It rewires your brain to respond with calm, to observe without judgment, to act with intention rather than reaction. And when you finally face the pressures that once threatened to break you, you will realize that calmness was not a gift. It was earned. It was earned in the quiet, in the repetition, in the discipline that you committed to when no one was watching. So take those 10 minutes. Sit, breathe. Watch your thoughts like clouds drifting across the sky. Do not fight them. Do not embrace them. Simply observe. And as you do, understand that every time you practice, you are not just training your mind. You are shaping your life. You are building resilience, strength, and the ability to remain unshaken when the world demands everything from you. You are proving to yourself that calmness is not a fleeting feeling. It is a way of being. And that, my friends, is a power that nothing and no one can take away from you. In the chaos of life, our minds can feel like a battlefield. Thoughts clash, emotions surge, and every new challenge seems to demand more than we have to give. We are pulled in countless directions, responsibilities, pressures, expectations. And often, the most powerful tool we have is the one we overlook: our own mind. The ability to create a mental safe space, a refuge within ourselves, is not just a skill, it is a lifeline. It is the difference between being swept away by circumstance and standing firm, clear, and composed. It is a sanctuary we can carry with us wherever we go, a place that exists only for us, shaped by our imagination, our memories, and our calm. Imagine this: you are facing a moment that would rattle anyone. A high-stakes meeting, a difficult conversation, a personal crisis. Your heart races, your mind spins. The noise of the world presses in. And yet within you, there is a place no one else can touch. It is quiet, safe, and steady. Perhaps it is a beach where the waves roll gently against the shore, a forest where sunlight filters softly through the trees, or a room filled with memories that remind you of who you truly are. When you enter this mental refuge, the storm outside still exists, but it no longer controls you. You can breathe, you can think, you can act with intention rather than reaction. This is the power of a mental safe space. Creating this refuge is not complicated, but it requires practice. It is not something you stumble into by accident. It is something you build brick by brick, image by image, memory by memory. Begin with a place or memory that evokes calmness. It could be a childhood memory, a place you visited, or even a visualization you create from scratch. Engage your senses. Feel the warmth of the sun on your skin. Hear the gentle rush of water. Smell the scent of the forest or the salty air of the ocean. The more vividly you can create it in your mind, the more real it becomes, and the more power it holds over your inner state. Consider the example of a CEO preparing for a board meeting that could determine the future of their company. They close their eyes before walking into the room and visualize a quiet beach. The sand is soft beneath their feet. Waves break rhythmically in the distance. The sun warms their face. In this moment, they are untouchable by the stress outside. When they open their eyes, they carry the calm, the clarity, and the control of that mental refuge into the room. Their mind is no longer scattered. Their responses are deliberate. Their presence commands respect. Not because of their authority alone, but because they have cultivated the ability to anchor themselves amid chaos. Your mental safe space can be just as powerful, even if you are not leading a company or facing high-stakes decisions. It is your secret weapon for daily life. When your thoughts spiral, when anxiety threatens to take hold, when frustration or anger rises, you can step into your refuge. It is your retreat, your home, your sanctuary. It reminds you that no matter what happens outside, you have a place within yourself where you are safe, where you are calm, where you are in control. And when you can return to this space at will, you realize something extraordinary. The world no longer dictates your inner state. You do. This practice does more than just calm the mind. It strengthens it. Like physical training, it creates resilience. The more you visit your mental refuge, the easier it becomes to access. Your mind learns that no matter what storm rages outside, there is always a place you can stand firmly, a place that reminds you of your strength and your clarity. Over time, this refuge becomes an anchor, not just in moments of stress, but in everyday life. Decisions are made more thoughtfully. Emotions are managed more effectively. Relationships improve because you bring presence rather than reaction to every interaction. You become the person others look to when challenges arise, not because you are unfeeling, but because you have cultivated an inner calm that steadies everything around you. The beauty of a mental safe space is that it is yours alone. No one can take it from you. No circumstance can diminish it. And the more you use it, the more it grows in power. You are training your mind to know that it has a place to retreat to, a place to recharge, a place to reset. And when you return from that place, you do not simply go back to life. You go back stronger, wiser, and more in control than before. So I challenge you to find your mental safe space. Craft it with care. Visit it daily, even for a few minutes. Feel it, see it, breathe it. And when life comes rushing at you, when chaos and pressure threaten to pull you under, remember that you carry your sanctuary within you. Step into it. Let it restore you. Let it guide you. Let it remind you that no matter what is happening outside, you are not defined by the storm. You are defined by the calm you cultivate within, the refuge you build in your mind, the strength you create by claiming a space that is yours always and forever. Let me tell you something straight from the heart. Life is messy. Life is unpredictable. You wake up with a plan, you map out every step, and then the world laughs at your plan. And it's in that laughter, in that chaos, that we often lose ourselves. We get caught up in the illusion that if we just try hard enough, push hard enough, control hard enough, everything will bend to our will. But let me tell you the truth, it won't, not always. And the sooner we understand that, the sooner we begin to live with peace. The hardest lesson anyone will ever teach you is that you cannot control everything. You cannot control every thought that crosses your mind. You cannot control the moods of the people around you. You cannot control the outcomes of your efforts. And that's okay. It's more than okay, it's freeing. Because the moment you accept that life will happen on its own terms, you open a space inside yourself for calm, for clarity, for purpose. You stop banging your head against the wall, trying to bend life to fit your expectations. You stop exhausting yourself over things that are not yours to command. Let me give you an example that's simple, yet powerful. Think about a teacher in a classroom. Every morning she walks in with a lesson planned, with passion in her heart, ready to inspire young minds. But the students, well, they have their own agendas, their own distractions, their own moods. Some are attentive, some are restless, some are indifferent. And she finds herself worrying. Are they learning? Are they paying attention? Am I failing them? She spends hours after class ruminating over each student's reaction, each smile, each frown. And in doing so, she forgets the most important part of teaching, the joy of teaching itself. Then one day she decides to let go. She releases the need to control every response, every outcome. She focuses only on what she can give, the effort she pours into her lesson, the energy she brings to the room, the integrity with which she approaches her craft. And something magical happens. The class changes, not because the students changed overnight, but because she changed. She teaches fully, she shows up fully, and in that full presence, she finds joy. Calm is born in acceptance. It is born the moment we surrender our grip on the uncontrollable. You see, life will always have its surprises. People will disappoint you. Plans will fail. Things will go wrong. And when you try to control them, when you insist that the world bend to your will, you create tension, frustration, and even resentment inside yourself. But when you let go of that need, when you focus on what is yours to give, you find strength you never knew existed. You find resilience. You find freedom. This isn't about giving up or being passive. It's about wisdom. It's about distinguishing between what you can influence and what is beyond your hands. Your effort is yours. Your integrity is yours. Your choices are yours. That is where your power lies. When you invest in that power, when you give your all to what you can control, life stops being a source of anxiety and starts being a source of growth. I want you to think about the times you've tried to control something and it slipped through your fingers anyway. Maybe it was a relationship, maybe a career opportunity, maybe even your own emotions. How much energy did you waste? How much peace did you sacrifice? Now imagine if you had poured that same energy into what you could control, your preparation, your attitude, your effort, your love, your patience. Imagine the calm you could have felt, the satisfaction you could have carried. That's what I'm talking about. That's the gift of letting go. Letting go also teaches humility. It reminds you that the world is bigger than your desires, bigger than your expectations, bigger than your plans. And humility doesn't make you weak. It makes you human. It makes you adaptable. It makes you capable of joy even when things don't go your way. And let me be clear, joy doesn't come from outcomes. Joy comes from presence, from purpose, from giving your best without demanding a guarantee in return. So I'm asking you today to release the grip. Step back from the illusion of control. Breathe. Center yourself. Focus on what you can give and let the rest unfold as it will. Life will be unpredictable, yes, but within that unpredictability lies possibility. Within surrender lies strength. Within letting go lies peace. And when you reach that point, when you truly let go of the need to control everything, you'll realize something profound: you were never powerless. You were simply focusing on the wrong things. Your effort, your love, your dedication, your integrity, those have always been in your hands. And when you give them freely without attachment to the outcome, you are unstoppable. Remember this: calm doesn't come from controlling the storm. It comes from learning to dance in the rain. Peace doesn't come from forcing life to follow your plan. It comes from embracing life as it comes. And joy doesn't come from having everything your way. It comes from giving everything your best. Let go, focus on your effort, and watch the world shift around you. Because the power you're looking for has been inside you all along. Let me speak to you about something we all want, but few truly understand: calm. Not the calm that comes when everything goes right, not the calm that sneaks up when life is easy, but the kind of calm that sits in your soul unshaken, unbothered, no matter the storm outside. That calm is not a gift. It's not something that happens overnight. It is earned. It is cultivated. It is built brick by brick through choices, persistence, and the courage to show up for yourself every single day. Commitment to the long game is where true strength lies. You see, life has a way of seducing us with instant gratification. We want the peace now, the solution now, the recognition now. But calm doesn't arrive on a schedule we can dictate. It doesn't come in a single victory or a single moment of clarity. It is forged in the trenches of daily effort, in the small victories that no one sees, in the choices you make when no one is watching. Every time you redirect a thought that wants to spiral into anger, every time you choose patience over impulse, every time you practice stillness instead of reacting, you are laying the foundation for something greater than any single day can give you. Think about a world-class performer, the ones who captivate stadiums, who leave audiences breathless, who seem to move through life with effortless grace. Do you think they arrived there by accident? Do you think mastery is a one-night affair? No. They show up day after day, not because it's easy, but because the journey demands it. Every rehearsal, every practice, every repetition is not just about refining skill. It's about training their mindset. They know that excellence isn't a flash of brilliance. It is the slow, deliberate accumulation of small, consistent victories over time. And in that consistency, they find not just skill, but resilience, poise, and calm that no crowd, no failure, no criticism can shake. That is the essence of committing to the long game. Calm is not born in moments of perfection. It is born in moments of discipline. It is born in the decision to take one more deep breath when your heart wants to race. It is born in the choice to pause when everyone else is rushing. It is born in the willingness to be patient with yourself, even when the world is impatient with you. And make no mistake, that patience, that discipline, that commitment, it is a muscle. And like any muscle, it grows stronger with daily use, with repetition, with persistence. Let me be honest with you, there will be days when it feels impossible. There will be mornings when the weight of the world presses on your shoulders and the thought of staying calm seems laughable. There will be evenings when your mind spins out of control and the temptation to give up on this practice, to give in to frustration or despair, is loud and persuasive. But that is exactly when the long game shows its power. It is in those moments that your commitment matters most. It is in those moments that you prove to yourself that calm is not a reaction. It is a choice. That peace is not a reward, it is a habit. That mastery is not a moment, it is a journey. Every thought you redirect, every emotion you observe without judgment, every step you take toward composure, these are the investments in a bank account that compounds quietly over time. And one day, Months from now, years from now, you will look back and realize something profound. You have been building a fortress of calm, one brick at a time. And nothing outside can topple it because it is not built on circumstances. It is built on your persistence, your patience, your unwavering commitment to growth, to mastery, to the long game. Understand this: calm is a lifestyle, not an event. It is a practice, not a prize. It is developed in the ordinary, not the extraordinary. It is forged in the repetition of things most people overlook, in the consistency of actions others consider too small to matter. And yet, it is precisely those small, daily choices that create a mind unshakable, a heart unbroken, a spirit unbending. The long game is not glamorous. It is not flashy, but it is real, and it is where true power lies. So I challenge you to think differently about time, about effort, about mastery. Understand that nothing worth having comes instantly. The calm you seek, the resilience you desire, the unshakable poise you admire in others, they are all the product of patient persistence. They are the result of showing up day after day, even when it hurts, even when it's inconvenient, even when it feels like nothing is happening. Because every day, every choice, every effort is a step forward. And one day you will stand in the quiet strength you've built, and you will know the journey, not the moment, was the true victory all along. Commit to the long game. Practice your calm. Invest in your mind. Redirect your thoughts. Cultivate patience. And over time, those small daily victories will add up to something no chaos, no failure, no storm can take away. You will find a calm that is permanent, a strength that is unstoppable, and a life that is lived with intention, purpose, and grace. And that, my friends, is the power of persistence. Listen to me carefully. Your mind is a garden. Every thought you allow to take root is a seed, and every seed grows. You can plant fear, doubt, and worry, and they will spread like weeds, choking every corner of your life. Or you can plant awareness, focus, and patience, and watch calm rise,